Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cage Review. And I finally got my ass to go see Star Wars. Unfortunately, in the town I live in, there are two theaters near me. One is very small and was booked out for about a week and a half, and the other one was very large but under construction and half the theater was closed down. So that one was booked out for a week and a half. So I finally got my ass to go see Star Wars. I just saw it last night. I wrote down my thoughts so I could have everything fresh when I did the review. And I've avoided everything on social media when it comes to Star Wars. If I even saw the word Star Wars, I fucking turned it off, changed. It didn't matter. I didn't want to see it. So after I saw the movie, I did watch a couple of reviews and reactions to it, and a couple of, fan theories and shit. And thankfully, pretty much everybody said what I was already thinking. Me and my girlfriend, we were having a back and forth about it, and there's so much about Star Wars that I liked and so much that I did not like. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very entertaining. They did a great job with some of the things that I'll get into. The character development at some points was phenomenal. And that's something that I think a lot of people weren't giving as much appreciation to as they should. Because honestly, there are two things in particular, and when I get into the spoilers, I'll talk more about it, that were just great. And man, I'm telling you, it's really got me built up for the next Star Wars movie. Honestly, it really does. I'm honestly looking forward to what they do with the next Star Wars, because they have really good relationship dynamics that I didn't see coming. As far as being a Star Wars fan and watching from A New Hope all the way through the whole fucking series, I've seen them all. I've seen Rogue One. Unfortunately, I've seen the first trilogy. We won't get into that. But, if you're a true Star Wars fan, there are going to be moments in this movie that have you scratching your head like, what the fuck were you thinking? I had a couple of moments like that, and I was really, there were points where I was really wholeheartedly disappointed in the direction they took with some things. I thought it was just the stupidest fucking thing they could have ever done. And the funny thing is, I'm not really that big of a Star Wars fan. Like, I like the movies, I enjoy them, they're entertaining, but I'm not one of these like super hardcore Star Wars, diehard fans. I'm just not that type. But I do like them a lot, actually. So, having been invested in them at least enough to care, yeah, they screwed the pooch big in a couple of points here. And one thing that I kind of thought was not done enough is the fact that, they had this one little line that said, in memory of our little princess, Carrie Fisher, and it wasn't very much. And I thought that maybe they would have done something a little bigger since, Carrie Fisher was in the fucking original trilogy and died during this movie, and I'm like, just felt like there should have been something a little bit more there than just one little line of in memory. But hey, that's kind of nitpicking, I guess. So I'm going to move kind of into the fact that, okay, I like the movie and I'm very torn in certain areas to spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler talk, be warned. What did I like about the movie? The first thing is I really liked the dynamic between Rey and Ben Solo, Kylo Ren. There was a lot of things in the movie that, had you questioning what is the relationship they have to each other. How are they connected? Because there's these parts where they're telepathically just connected to each other using the Force or whatever. And you know, you can kind of see this weird bond growing, even though they're like arch enemies. And the way that developed, I thought was very, very cool. Um, they were both touching on each other's nerves. Like, I know there's still good in you. Rey's telling Ben, I can see the conflict in you, and you can see, you know, the kind of mental warfare that he's having. And he's telling her, you know, your parents deserted you and blah, blah, blah. And he's trying to pull over to the dark side. You can see the conflict in her. And you can see this relationship kind of building between the two of them. And, you know, where that goes eventually is, well, Kylo turns out to be Kylo. And, you know, he's still power hungry and trying to rule the universe. And she's trying to stop him. So, you know, it's this weird relationship that gets them closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and then boom, they're at opposite ends again. And so that kind of sets up, you know, where they're going to go with the next movie, which is probably going to be the ultimate showdown between Rey and Kylo. Now, I also really liked the relationship between Rey and Luke Skywalker, because at this point, Luke Skywalker, he's done with the Force. He does not care. He realizes that it's just destroying the universe. You know, the Sith, the Jedi, the whole fucking thing. None of it is good anymore. It's just time for it all to die. So, there's a really cool dynamic with Rey trying to bring him back from his, you know, exile and make him see that he's still needed in this fight and that there's still a purpose for all this. That was pretty cool. Kind of the old grumpy old man getting over himself scenario, but very well done. Another thing that I liked about this is Finn, and especially his fight with the Gwendolyn Christie character. You know, that lady trooper that I guess trains all these guys. And that fight was pretty cool. I really liked a couple of scenes there where Finn falls down the hole and you think he's gone, and then he comes back up and, you know, smacks Gwendolyn in the face with that weapon. Just really, really fucking cool. Really well done. But as far as fights go, my favorite fight of the movie is Kylo and Rey are in front of Snoke, and Snoke is trying to convince Kylo to kill Rey. Kylo doesn't want to do it. And so, while Snoke is sitting there, you know, saying, I know you're never going to turn on me, Kylo uses his Jedi mind and moves this. You can see this lightsaber turning toward Snoke, and then he just ignites it, and the lightsaber goes straight through Snoke, and then he pulls it forward and cuts Snoke in half. And so Snoke is in this room surrounded by guards, and they all have these different style weapons that are kind of like lightsaber weapons. One is like this really cool whip. The other has these like gauntlet style things, and just a lot of different style weapons. And so there's this really big fight that ensues between Rey and Kylo against all these guards. And it was very, very, very good. Very kind of samurai style in a lot of ways, that obviously incorporate like mind tricks and shit like that. So that was a fun part for me. That whole sequence is just amazing. Something you definitely have not seen before from a Star Wars movie. That you have to give it. And I love how they make the fight scenes, you know, back in the first movie, you have a couple of guys, you know, moving their lightsabers a couple of times. These fight scenes are really well choreographed. I love that. And in a lot of ways, this movie seemed more about Kylo and Rey than it did, you know, Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. You know, this movie in a lot of ways seemed like a passing of the torch. Like, you know, okay, we're kind of moving away from the old series and the old characters, and we're focusing now on, these new characters that we built, Finn, Rey, and I have to say that while that was great, the passing of the torch, I don't like how long it took to do that. Like, the passing of the torch kind of started in A Force Awakens, and it kind of like took 2 movies to do it. Like, they got rid of Han Solo, and spoiler, Luke Skywalker dies here, and we know Carrie Fisher is dead, so we gotta figure out how that's gonna work. And that kind of moves me into what I didn't like about this, which right off the bat, at the end of the movie, Luke Skywalker has this really fucking great scene, great scene, where he's talking to Princess Leia. He comes out of hiding. He walks up to Kylo Ren in front of this battle formation of walkers that he's bringing up to this camp, and there's this really cool scene where all the walkers are just firing down on Luke Skywalker, and they finally stop firing, and he just goes, which I thought was pretty funny. It's kind of comical for the moment. And then there's this fight between Kylo and Luke Skywalker, and it's just so he can stall and give this group of rebels enough time to escape the other side of this compound that they're stuck in. So they escape the compound, and then you find out that Luke Skywalker's not even really there. He's still in exile. He's just using his astral projection type thing, force power, to get him to see what he wants to see. And yeah, he hasn't even left exile. So there was no real fight there. He wasn't really doing anything. He was just kind of astral. So they had a really cool sequence that I think they kind of bombed at the end there. It was kind of a cool idea. I mean, I like the astral projection thing. That was kind of cool. But then he gets on the rock, he's staring at the sun, and he just fucking dies. He just disappears. Poof, gone. That was the biggest waste of a moment that they've ever had in a fucking Star Wars movie. Luke Skywalker, the ultimate protagonist for this whole fucking series since the very first movie made. Luke Skywalker, the baddest ass Jedi. No fight. And they should have at least had him go down in a blaze of glory, fighting it out. I think that was just a horrible ending for Luke Skywalker, and I know a lot of fans did not like it, and I didn't like it. That was a missed opportunity right there. That was a very big missed opportunity. Another big problem that I had with the movie was some of the stupid humor in it. Now, a lot of people were down on the humor. I did think there were a lot of funny moments. I really did. But shit like, the whole casino scene could have been deleted. Just take the fuck out of the movie. Especially, you have these little things that are supposed to be funny, like the little troll-looking guy throwing cash when they're fucking escaping the casino, and it's just supposed to be funny. It's just dumb. Sometimes they really need to work on their humor. I mean, if you're going to put that much humor, it needs to be funny. And even when I was in the theater, I don't think there was even a chuckle at that moment. So, they need to really work on that, And I know they can do it because Disney, they're doing Star Wars and they're also doing the Marvel movies. Well, look at Thor. That was funny as hell the whole way through. Like, that was laugh out loud beginning to end. And this time, there were some funny moments, but they really missed the mark on a lot of them. What else did I not like about this? I didn't like the fact that they didn't kind of, with the knowledge that Carrie Fisher is dead now, do something to have an ending for the character. They really didn't. At the end of the movie, she's still alive. She's going into hiding. Luke Skywalker is dead, Han Solo is dead, now we know Carrie Fisher is dead, so officially that they should have found a way to do something with that to kind of eliminate the character. I think that was another thing that, now come next movie, how are they going to explain it? It's probably going to be in one line of fucking dialogue and that's it, which sucks. Yeah, I don't like it. I did not like it at all. I did like the Oscar Isaac character. I can't remember his name. I think it's Poe or some shit like that. But yeah, he had a lot of really cool scenes. The arrogant, want to do everything by bombing it first and then growing and maturing and realizing that that's not the answer to everything. So there was kind of a character development there that I did like. And overall, like I said, I think it was very, very, very well done. Some of the humor I did like were these little, you saw one in the preview, these little like fucking yellow penguin looking birds, puffer birds or whatever the hell they look like. There was some funny fucking moments with those. Chewbacca was about to eat one over a roasted fire, and then you have a bunch of these little birds giving him this like the saddest expression on their face that you can possibly make, and oh my god, it was funny. Just really, really good moments like that. And like I said, overall, this movie was very, very entertaining. That whole Luke Skywalker thing is gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth forever. That was really a missed mark. And another thing that kind of bothered me was Snoke. Snoke was built up to be this like ultimate badass, after the Sith had died and they had reformed this new organization. Snoke was supposed to be the, like the new emperor. And that went nowhere because they fucking killed him off. And I was like, that's another really big missed mark. And some people were complaining a lot that, A Force Awakens is A New Hope all over again. And, this one, I actually heard conflicting reviews about, oh, it's like Empire Strikes Back, and not really. I would have to say not really. It may start off a little bit like Empire Strikes Back, it's like, and then it just goes way off course. Some of the choices they made. And some of the choices I really, really liked. But, yeah, there were some head scratchers. And, I was watching one guy, Tyrone, doing his comments about, Star Wars, and he did a 10 what the fuck moments. And the first one was like Luke Skywalker chucking the lightsaber behind his back, because at the end of Force Awakens, Rey's there, she has a lightsaber, she gives it to him, and, you're waiting to find out what he's going to do, and he just fucking throws it behind his back. Which maybe was meant to be funny, but I actually think there was more to it than that. I think it shows that he really was done with the Jedi, and he didn't want anything to do with his life anymore, and he just put it behind him. And so when he sees this, he's just like, no, I don't really want this. So I don't really hate shit like that. I actually thought that was kind of a nice little tidbit. But, in a situation like this, you're gonna have your good and you're gonna have your bad. It's just a mixed bag. Overall, though, I liked it. I really did. I think I would probably go to see it again. I know the family is talking about going to see it, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go see it again, So, yeah, it's definitely got me pumped for the next one, too. Like, the whole relationship that they built with Kylo and Rey, I think that is just great. So, that definitely has me, invested in what's going to happen in the next movie. So that's my review for now, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you think about Luke Skywalker's death? Did you think that was a missed opportunity? What did you think about Snoke dying off? Let me know if there's anything that really stands out to you. This has been the Caged Review. I'm Kevin Jackwitz. Cage Nation out.